Now, first I will discuss with you what is the decision making process and how the decision making process that has to be implemented. Then we will have the one demonstration of the decision making process, that is the how decisions have been taken by the different executives and how collective decision is to be made in an organization. And then we will have the finally in 3 modules basically, and then we will have finally that is the what are the lessons of learning from the decision making process. Now, first we have to understand what is the decision making process is there. What is important is that whenever we are talking about the input, process and output. Now, in input, process and output, it becomes very important, that is how an individual is capable, what type of personality he has. And then question arises that if you want to enhance the one's individual the capability to take the right decisions, then what type of the training program is to be given to that provided to that particular the trainee or participant or employee. So, first I will start with the definition. So, it is the normally when the question of decision comes, if there is no choice, then there is no question of decision. The question of the decision will come only when we are talking about the selection of a course of action from amongst the alternatives. Now, here I would like to mention about the goal, that is what is the goal. A person is driven in decision making process by this particular goal and objectives. Somebody may have the goal which is satisfying the social factors, maybe the family, maybe the friends and maybe the society. Now, whenever a decision is to be taken, then in that case what is the person's priority? If it is the social priority, then decision will be satisfying the needs. I would also like to connect this decision making process with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So, whenever we are talking about the physiological needs, safety needs, social needs, self esteem need and self actualization need. So, many times these needs, they are becoming the goals. And when I am talking about these social need, so therefore in that case, so person is here, but it is also possible that is the person may have this physiological need. And then in that case he may go to that, in spite of the social needs, what he would like to go, he will go to the that is the physiological needs, and then definitely in that case his course of action from amongst the alternatives, that will be driven by the physiological needs. It means that the decision making process is driven by the goal. What is the need of the person, and then sometimes it is the wants, and then if he is going in the direction driven by these needs or wants, then in that case this particular action he will choose. sometimes it can be the economic also. And then in that case, if the economic condition that is the driving seat, then his decisions will be driven by the satisfying the economic needs. Sometimes it may be he is forced to take a decision as per the guidance of the legal or by the law. And then if it is by the law or the society or by the economic factors, then in that case his course of action from the all these alternatives, right, which will be satisfying his need, which will be satisfying his goals. So, these are the choices. There can be some others also, sometimes it is the political, right, or sometimes it is the his technological needs. So, here we have to understand that is the how a course of action is to be selected. It is interesting to note, is it possible to select that particular sort of the decision as compared to dominating his needs, right, and taking the right decision, and that is why the decision making process that has to be understood. Otherwise, it will be very easy to say that whatever options are available, the person will take the decisions, but that evaluation, the priority, and there will be the part of rationality in the decision making process. There is something, need is something else, and decision is on the basis of rationality. So, basically it may be a conflict between the emotions and the rationality. And if there is a conflict between the emotions and the rationality, then what decision is to be taken, that this particular chapter will talk about. So, what do you think? Whenever there is a conflict in decision making between the emotions and the rationality, what sort of decision would you like to take? Would you like to take the emotional decision which will be satisfying your need, or it will be like your decision is to be taken on the basis of proper process which is to be followed in decision making, and then whatever answer comes, whether it satisfies the need or it does not satisfy the need, in both the cases the person is taking that right answer. So, to understand this, first we have to understand the process of decision making. Now, in decision making process, the premising, this is the premises, and within these boundary walls you have to find out the solution for your question. I would like to take an example, that is earlier days whenever there was the retrenchment was required, reducing the manpower, the VRS was introduced, voluntarily retirement scheme was introduced. So, one side the organization was facing the financial crisis, and other side the solution was to provide these particular incentives as a VRS, golden shake hand schemes, and then it was the double side sword, that is the one side the economic recession, other side it was the paying VRS, the scheme which is requiring more money, and then it was a sandwich, employer was sandwiched in between these two. And what was the result? And the result was, whenever these type of the VRS have been offered voluntarily, the cream of the organization, the talented people, they were applying outside, they were getting the better jobs, they were applying VRS in this organization and getting money from here also, joining the another organization with the better opportunities and better prospects and better rewards. So, then in that case, because it was a talent, so talent was going out, taking money, going out, building their further career, second phase, and here the employees, those who were not getting the opportunity outside, they were forcefully, they were asked, they were saying no, and then there was a negotiation and all these negative process of started. So, what was the premises? Premises was the financial condition. The decision making within this financial condition that you have to take. So, every individual, every organization, they are bound to take a decision in the given premises, and they have to understand the boundaries of the premises. If they do not understand the boundaries of the premises, then this type of the examples will be there. One side financial losses, other side is the solution is also to give more money, and then as a result of which there is again organization was sinking. So, solution naturally has to be taken within the given constraints. These premises are the constraints. If this is the constraint, for example, the reducing the manpower, finance is the constraint, and I cannot offer the VRS, voluntarily retirement scheme, then what is the alternative available to me? So, whenever we have to take a one decision, decision can be simple, give money, get rid of the problem. But is it the right decision? So, if you are in economic recession, your condition, economic condition is not good, then this is not the right solution. The solution, this might be the suggestive solution, but this cannot be the right solution. Then what to do? That is, identify the alternatives. And if you have to reduce the manpower because of the financial crunch, how will you reduce the manpower? By giving them money and asking them to go, but you are into the financial problem, so you won't prefer that. Then I ask you, what decision would you like to take? How will you reduce the manpower or retrench the manpower then when it is not possible to provide them the extra money? What solution would you like to focus? And that time the solution many times which have come out for making the alternative is, that is the outplacement. Outplacement that can be in the form of lien, right, if that is a government organization, or it can be in the form of giving them the sabbatical leave, or it can be form of the giving the leave for the working into the organization for some period of time, that is of the loaning of the employees, or there can be the deputations and there can be the outplacements. What are the outplacements? Outplacements means that is the providing the opportunity to serve others by giving them recommendations for trying for them, and then it becomes that is your employees are acceptable to the other organizations wherever there is a need for this type of employees. And dear friends, this can be on tenure based also, please also understand. So, you are loaning your employees, you are sending on lien, you are making out placement for them, you are sending them for the sabbatical leave. If you have noticed, in all these solution it is time bounded. So, for some period of time temporarily you want to reduce your manpower, and this manpower then again can be welcome after 2 years or 3 years, then this type of solutions that will work. So, in decision making process it becomes very important that you are able to identify the alternatives, what alternatives are possible, sometimes by paying money, sometimes by without paying money, sometimes they are creating the more options by the use of technology, technological sources and all. So, this type of the alternatives the one can identify. So, which one will be the right one? Now, again it will come in the terms of the goal sought. So, whether you want to go for lien, you want to go for sabbatical, you want to go for the loaning, you want to go for the outplacement, and therefore, in that case this will be decided on the basis of what is the goal of the organization. So, alternatives, evaluating the alternatives, and then there should be certain parameters on basis of which the alternatives are to be evaluated, and then the final decision is to be taken. So, naturally out of these you may find that is after 2 years or 3 years it is better, that is your employees they are getting trained or they are getting educated with the help of the sabbatical leave, and then they are making then they can come back. So, what you will choose? You will choose the sabbatical leave. But you may choose that is the no, that there is no scope, they are already well qualified and having the good knowledge and skills, and then they can be useful for the other organizations that can be loaning. So, choosing an alternative after this 1, 2, 3, 4, and in loaning there can be the different parts. So, out of these 4 what you want to choose or take a decision, and then in that case the options will be that is the what is your goal is there. So, decision making process first and foremost is to know yourself. This premising means what? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats and resources, a proper analysis of the situation analysis. If there is a proper situation analysis, and then in that case you will be able to identify that what are my premises, what are the options are available, and out of these options looking to my premises, and then I will come in detail also about evaluation, and then taking the right decision. So, therefore, in that case it becomes a very scientific approach of taking a right decision, and that is the rational decision is there. And where the decision, as I mentioned earlier, it has to be on basis of the emotions or rationality, then definitely no doubt that is first you understand this particular rationality, and then make the use of your intuition, and then you take the decision, and sometimes this decision may be based on the emotions, but it is with the emotional quotient. Why? Because as we know in the emotional quotient it is about the self awareness. Self awareness that will direct you to understand whether the decision is to be emotional or it is to be rational. Then we know about the self regulation as given by Daniel Goleman, and then the empathy as I have discussed earlier. Then we are talking about the motivation. When I talk about the emotional decision, then definitely that need and wants and that motivational goals, so you please do not forget, because ultimately I personally feel that what will motivate you the most, that alternative will be the best for that individual. So, rationality goes up to a limit and one should go by rationality, that is fine, but human being is a emotional personality, and therefore, even when the person is making the evaluation, person is making the selecting the alternatives, comparing the alternatives, and then he will make the list of the priorities in the decision making process. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and then in that case it is possible that is the person may not go by all that exercises, and whatever answer comes, he may take a decision which his intuition speaks, his emotions speaks. So, but that is not advisable. Advisable is this, that is, you please be first rational, find out the rational answer, and then use the your human intelligence, your intuition basically, and then take a decision. So, you are aware. You are aware that what risk you are taking. It should not be gambling, no, it should be the risk, that is, yes, I know the right answer is this, but I will go by the x is the right answer, but I will go by y knowingly. So, you will never have the regret, that is, yes, that was there, but because you are human being, you are intelligent, and then you know the what your intuition is calling, and then if intuition is calling and then decision is taken. So, many times you will find that is many case studies are there. So, especially when we talk about these Steve Jobs and all leaders, so these type of leaders, they have worked on these mostly on the identifying the rationality and then taking their own intuition, call on the intuition and then taking the decision. So, in many products it has been seen that is the on the basis of the blend of the rationality, but calling of the intuition, the decisions have been taken and they have been proved right, not wrong. If this is the situation, then in that case definitely a decision making process that will be best. Why I am saying so? The experience that counts. Every time you go by the mathematical process, and if you do not make the use of your experience, intuition is what? Many times the intuition, it is the based on whatever the personality has learned. I have talked about the sensitivity training. So, what is the sensitivity? Sensitivity is nothing but that is giving you the intuition. Empathy. Empathy what gives you? It gives you the intuition, it gives the affection, it gives the concern for others. It talks about the when you are taking a decision, and that decision if you find that is no, this decision is going to hurt the humankind, would you like to take that decision? Because rationally yes, this is going to be the decision. So, a balance is required. It should be betterment of the society, it should be the betterment of the humankind, but many times there are the role conflicts are there. So, definitely then there you have to go by the priorities of the roles, and whatever your role speaks, then you have to take a decision accordingly, isn't so? So, it should be the match, you cannot just black and white, right. So, therefore, in that case choosing an alternative and making a decision is there. I have talked about the rationality in decision making, that is the what is the rationality in decision making. I have talked about in the previous slide, but let us understand what is the rationality in decision making. People acting or deciding rationality are attempting to reach some goal that cannot be attained without an action. It is a good definition. So, therefore, in that case an action is to be taken. If you take a particular action, then definitely in that case that will be the deciding rationality. You have to work on that, you have to do the analysis, you have to collect the data, and only in that case you can go for this type of this particular decision making process. But rationality can be limited or bounded rationality. What it means? Limitations of information, time and certainty. Information, we are living in the information era, I know, but if you give a keyword, how many websites you find? Maybe 1,24,330. So, limitations of information is that is which is the appropriate information, which is the right information at the right place, and therefore, in that case this limitation of information is in the different context. Now, the decisions are to be taken for the long term goals and for the short term goals. It is for the long term goals, then definitely you have enough time, you create a committee, the committee will find out all the information, they will go through the analysis, they will come with the recommendations, recommendations will be evaluated by the another committee, and then finally decision will be taken, that is fine. But when we talk about the short term goals, immediately you have to attain in this particular season you have to take a certain decisions, yes or no, and then in that case you will find if there is a limitation of time, then definitely it is the limited the premises. And certainty, a big question, God knows what will happen, and then definitely that is the certainty or uncertainty when we talk about, and that is becoming the limiting the rationality. Even though a manager tries earnestly to be completely rational, so he wants to be the rational, but what will happen when he is having the limitation of information? What will happen when he is having the limitation of time? What will happen that he is not sure about the certainty, and then you ask him to take a rational decision, no information or no time and no there is a certainty, and then in that case also you want to take a decision, then that will be definitely a big question. How will you handle that situation? So, satisfying is picking a course of action that is satisfactory or good enough under the circumstances. As I mentioned, that is the human brain that is becoming very important, and therefore, in that case or with all these limited or bounded rationality is there, ultimately again, but please understand that is the basic model is same. And what is the basic model? That is the premising, identifying the alternatives, evaluating alternatives and taking the best alternative. So, therefore, in that case that best alternative through this model which comes, that should satisfy you. If you are the very scientific in your approach, then definitely you will get an answer, and that should be the satisfying answer, and if that is a satisfying answer, go ahead. Means following the rational model and then identifying the satisfaction level, understanding, making the perceptions, correct perceptions, no shortcuts in judging others, right perceptions, and then getting the decision under this limited or the bounded rationality. The another important point which comes in the decision making process is development of alternatives and the limiting factors. It is practically a very important point, because a limiting factor is something that stands in the way of accomplishing a desired objective. Yeah, that is true. A limiting factor, maybe the time, maybe the information, maybe the certainty, whatever it is there. If you have to take a decision and there is a limiting factor which is affecting, then definitely it will be a very important factor to develop an alternative, because premises are not aligned, but you have decided a goal, then you have to select which goals, and then if which goal is there, then you have to find out the something that is not affecting. The principle of the limiting factor is by recognizing and overcoming those factors that stand critically in the way of a goal. So, in the way of a goal, that whatever coming factors then they stand critically, then in that case you have to take an action. The best alternative course of action can be selected. Wonderful point. So, first overall analysis, because what they are talking about here, they are talking about that is the recognizing and overcoming. Please understand, overcoming. If overcoming those factors is possible, try to overcome those factors and that stand critically in the way of a goal, but that is these are the points which may affect our rational decision, and therefore, that is the critical standing for achieving that particular goal. And then if this is the situation, what will be the best alternative that you have to select. The best alternative will be selected, that is the whenever you are clear with that whatever is coming in the way of a goal, and then how to overcome that, and if it is the situation, what will be the best solution for me. Nowadays lot of emphasis on the qualitative analysis, please understand. Even in the research, whenever we talk about the overcome that quantitative analysis, you are doing survey, people are responding, you are putting into the software, you are getting the results, then analyzing that results, and then say this is the recommendation, this is the solution, this is the implication, this is the discussion. So, the basis of the data that is based on survey and the respondents, how they have responded, there are different tests also, you can ensure that, but still the people talk about that is it is totally based on the respondents. So, if what I do, that I always try to test these quantitative findings with the qualitative findings, qualitative research. So, whenever you talk about the employee engagement, and suppose the problem comes from your data survey and all, that is the absorption is the problem. So, this is a quantitative data, absorption is the problem. Now, I will take the support of the qualitative data and I will try to find out whether this quantitative data, is it possible to check with the qualitative data, cross check, and if it is yes, why, if it is no, why, because that is a part of research. So, therefore, in that case quantitative factors are the factors that can be measured in numerical terms, and qualitative or intangible factors are those factors that are difficult to measure numerically, and the examples are the social factors, and therefore, I would not like to isolate the quantitative factors with the qualitative factors. Rather than what I would like to do, that is these quantitative factors I will cross check with the qualitative factors. What are the qualitative factors? Qualitative factors are like the case studies, like the news, like the information from the other sources, by the experience sharing of the people, and so many. So, therefore, in that case even though it is the concepts based on the theory. So, all these factors we will see and match with this quantitative data, and when the quantitative and qualitative data both matches, and then we can say that is that evaluation of alternative is not only on the basis of the quantitative, but it is and not only basis of qualitative both, but it is based on the quantitative and qualitative data both. There is another term, that is a marginal analysis is used in the decision making process, is to compare the additional revenues and the additional cost arising from the increasing output. So, therefore, in that case whenever we are increasing the additional revenues required for this particular decision making process, or the additional cost is arising from increasing this particular output, then whether it is correct or not, and then at the time of evaluation of alternatives you have to also identify what are the different methods or approaches for the additional revenues that may cause additional revenues and additional cost, that is from the increasing output. In the cost effectiveness analysis, this becomes very important, that is how you are comparing the benefit and the cost. Whatever benefits you are seeking from that particular cost effective analysis, then in that case we will take care this decision is to be opted or it is not to be opted, and therefore, in that case it becomes important, that is we are doing in decision making process marginal analysis also, we are also calculating the cost effectiveness, and then we are taking the decision on the basis of this cost effectiveness analysis and marginal analysis. So, while selecting an alternative, the three approaches are becoming very important. One is experience, as I mentioned earlier, that is what experience you have. Experimentation, that is the whatever you want to try, if there is no previous experience or you want to make the practical first hand hands on approach, then definitely the experimentation, and the third one is research and analysis. I will also talk the research and analysis separately as a training technique and method, that is the how we can use the training technique and method in the research analysis. The rest of the part in decision making that I will continue in my next module. Thank you.